Alright, good afternoon. Sun is still out, it's still hot, I'm sweating, but you know, you get the tackle talks done when you can, and I wanted to go over today some of the stuff that's been working for me this season in northern Wisconsin. So there's a variety of baits. I'm going to go over a few, or go over all of really what's been working. It hasn't been a whole ton of baits, but then probably go over a couple that I would like to run a little bit more if I have time. I don't know if I'll have time, but you know, it's just one of those things where you get out on the water when you can, and if it doesn't end up being quite as much as you want, well, it just kind of is what it is. But anyway, let me start breaking down some of these lures. You'll see some very familiar faces and maybe a couple of new ones as well. Alright, we're going to start things off with blades. Caught in Taylor Flannery's boat with Gus Mantee. My biggest so far this season was on the Dadson Baby Bad Egg, courtesy of KV. This thing has just been kicking out fish. It's done really well for me in Canada. It's done well for me in Wisconsin. I can't wait to throw this thing back home this fall. Just that short scale and just some incredible thump and a lot of grind. These things are awesome, and I appreciate KV for putting these tools in my hands. I will do my best to keep getting them cranked. Next on the list, another familiar one, the 8-inch Navin. So when times are tough and you need a bite or you need something to happen, these are a great bait to go to, and they usually get the job done. Moved a couple really nice fish with this up here. We have not actually connected on it, but hey, it gave me a zip code on one, and I've definitely been paying that one some visits. I got her up again once on a Ridgeway, but I have yet to get her to eat. But we'll see. There's a little time left yet. Speaking of Ridgeways, that's another one that I've been having some luck on up here. The 9-inch Ridgway is always a staple when it comes to northern Wisconsin, or 10-inch, I guess. Actually, my second biggest Wisconsin muskie to date is on a 10-inch ridge. That being said, I've had some heartbreak on this one. I lost a really nice tiger right at the boat on this bait. Again, Ridgeways are working. I just am not very lucky with them this year. I don't know what the deal is. Hopefully we'll turn that around here come fall, but again, these things have been getting me bites and have been getting bit. I just have not been able to convert. That's a me thing, not a Ridgeway thing. But anyway, doesn't matter. I'm gonna keep chucking them because they keep pulling fish. So that's all there is to it. Next on the list, one that I always throw up here, the Midusa. This thing, just when you need a bite and you need to get bit, it always just seems to put one in the bag. Just ripping it through the weeds, nothing special, nothing fancy, but popping that thing is just it's just a timeless technique up here. It just gets the job done. You know, it worked for me in Canada, it works for me back home. There's just something about ripping a Dusa really hard in front of those fish that just drives them nuts. So I'm gonna keep doing it. Midusa is always a producer, especially up here. All right, the next familiar face on the list is going to be the Dipstick XL. I've gotten a couple of fish with this. The open water program that I kind of run from time to time up here was very slow to develop this season, so I haven't really been able to utilize this tool as much as I would like. However, it has put a couple fish in the boat. I had a really nice one swing and miss on it the other day. I pulled when I should have paused, and that was stupid. But you know what? You can't win them all, but this thing just continues to put fish in the bag. I was texting with Adam just the other day. I was trying to, I think that this is on, I think I've gotten 10 on this one now, maybe. 10 muskies on this one. And I don't even know how many pike. I don't know how many pike are courtesy of this thing that are getting pickled for game day this fall, but there are going to be a bunch, and there are a bunch in the freezer. So thank you, Adam, for game day food, and thank you for the muskies and the memories. This thing just keeps cranking them out. I love it. Yeah, stay tuned. If it hasn't happened already, I'm planning on giving a Dipstick XL away very soon, because Adam is just an awesome dude and gave me some of his baits to get out to you guys. My top producer so far in Wisconsin, by far, not even close, is the Bowfin Jr. A Brady Mart's Bam Bam Original. I think that this one I'm holding here has 4 fish on it. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. And again, plenty of pike in the freezer. So thank you, Brady, as well for some game day fuel. But the Bam Bam Jr. has just been cranking fish. Just as I kind of anticipated. The really broadleaf cabbage, those fish just, it drives them nuts when you just kind of flutter it over that cabbage in front of them. And it just looks like something wounded or dying, just tickling those weed tops or kind of dancing through them. So, you know, it's just one of those things where sometimes sometimes that cabbage can be tough for baits to come through. There's certain baits that do it really well, and there's certain baits that struggle with it, and it just kind of depends on the bait itself. It's not like a bait thing, it's just like the consistency of the weeds. So like I said, some baits do really well with it, some not so much, and these ones do really well with that broadleaf cabbage. You know, there's some baits that can get kind of bogged with it, but yeah, rubber is always a staple of northern Wisconsin, and I'm really happy to report that the Bowfin Juniors have just been crushing it up here, and they are definitely for real. So yeah, definitely a really cool bait. I know that they're really hard to get your hands on, but Brady makes an awesome lure, and I'm excited to check these more this fall, no doubt about it. Alright, so I've got a couple that I want to go over that I haven't had enough time to throw. I need to throw them more than I do, I just haven't found a place for it. I've thrown them some up here, but not probably as much as they deserve. Again, time is limited, and it's just like one of those things where it's a constant balancing act of stuff that you have confidence in versus stuff that you want to try out because you think it'll work. So the first thing on that list by far is going to be the regular size bowfin. Like I said, the regular size, or like I said earlier, the open water stuff that I normally have pretty good luck with was not working as well as it should have, and was a little later to develop than it needed to be this season. I don't really know why. We had kind of a cool season, especially getting into July. I mean, I think around the 4th our water temps were still around like the low 70s, which is very abnormal for up here. That's probably as cool as I've ever seen it for that late in the season. But again, this is one that I need to tie on and utilize in some of those open water, deeper water scenarios now that those fish have kind of pushed off and are relating more to the deeper weeds in the breaks. There's no reason it wouldn't work, and it shouldn't work. So I just need to give it the time that it deserves. Another one, speaking of deeper breaks and structure, would be the 10-inch Bucko. Bucko sent me this one to try this season. Just an incredible paint job on this thing with the glitter and the gold and the white. It looks phenomenal. It looks phenomenal in the water. Again, I just need to run it more than I have. I've done it some, but again, when you're fishing by yourself, you can only do one thing at a time, and that just at the end of the day, it just kind of sucks that you can only do one thing at a time, because I've got so many cool tools to utilize, to throw, to try and catch these fish, and to just be resigned to one at a time just kind of stinks. But this one is awesome. It gets down there. It's got a ton of roll. I need to throw it more. Last but certainly not least on the I need to throw more list would be the 8-inch Poseidon with the growler attachment. You know, I had really good luck with the growler in Canada. There's no reason why this profile and all the thump of the tail and the rattle of the growler blade, why that wouldn't work. So I just need to try and make it happen and do my best to catch a fish on this. But that being said, my camera's flashing at me, which means my battery is close to dying. Well, my camera decided it was too hot, so I'm going to wrap this over here in the shade. So anyway, those are the baits that have been working really well in Wisconsin for me so far this season, as well as some of the baits that I would like to throw a little bit more if I have time. But time is winding down. The summer has gone quicker than I could have ever imagined. It's been a blast, but unfortunately real life calls, and got to get back to that at some point. But fall adventures are on the way. I cannot wait to make more memories on the water with some of the best dudes out there. It's going to be an absolute blast. Yeah, should be a lot of fun. If anyone's interested in booking a trip, just shoot me a message on any of my socials, and we'll find a time to get out there. But with that being said, I greatly appreciate all of you watching. If you haven't, consider subscribing, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.